St. Gerard parishioners, guests, family members and friends, welcome. I'm going to be offering a brief reflection on today's readings. The gospel passage today comes from the 12th chapter of Mark, and it begins with the scribe asking Jesus, which is the first of all the commandments? Jesus responds by citing two Old Testament commandments. The first one is from Deuteronomy 6, verses 4 to 5. Jesus says this. The first is this: Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is Lord alone. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. And then he quotes a passage from Leviticus 19, verse 18. And he says this: You shall love your neighbor as yourself. So Jesus takes two Old Testament commandments, and he's not creating something new, but what is new about his answer is that he's kind of making these two commandments two sides of the same coin. In essence, saying to the scribe, both of these are so important and so essential to a godly life that you can't have one without the other. If your love for God is heartfelt and all-consuming, it'll be reflected in your love for your neighbor. How can you not love the one that God loves? And if your love for neighbor is real and genuine, it'll be a reflection of the love that God has for him or her. When I personally contemplate the depth of my love for God, this passage leads me to ask myself, do I truly love my neighbor as God loves him or her? For example, think of family. I ask myself, does my behavior reflect a deep and abiding love and reflect the precious gift that they are to me, or do I take them for granted? How would you answer that? Does your love for your family, the members of your family, reflect the love God has for them? Or think about your fellow workers or classmates. Do I engage in gossip? Do I speak disrespectfully of people that I work with? Do I treat them with fairness and justice? When you think about the people you go to school with or the people you work with, do you love them as God loves them? Or think about unborn children. Can they count on me to be an advocate, protecting their life as valuable as yours or mine? Or what about the homeless people we see when we drive to and from the city? Do I work for better mental health services and better shelters for them so that there's not so many on the street? Do I really have a genuine love for them? Or do I just pass, not even noticing that they're there? Or when I think of my position as pastor, I ask myself, do I pastor all people in this parish with the heart of Jesus Christ? Or do I pick and choose who I choose to spend my time and give my attention to? Do I pastor everyone and not just some? Or when I think about the biases and the prejudices that I was raised with, do I sincerely work hard to temper them so that I'm not reflecting old thoughts and old ideas and wrong ideas, letting those kinds of things impact how I treat people today or how I think about them? Today I would invite you to take to heart the commandment that Jesus gives us in the gospel. Our love of God and our love of neighbor are two sides of the same coin. There are two commandments in one. And then ask yourself, what is your love for your neighbor? Think about all your relationships at home, at work, at school, in the wider community. What does your love for your neighbor say about the depth of your love for God? Do you love your neighbor as God loves him or as God loves her? Thank you and have a beautiful day.